Yo, what's good, my dudes? It's the Castlevania Anniversary Collection! It sucks. This is one of the laziest attempts at selling old games I've ever seen. Worse than the Wii eShop. Okay, so what they've essentially done here is they took a bunch of ROMs, packed them into an EXE, and sold them on Steam for 20 bucks. There are no cloud saves with this game. There are no achievements. There's barely even a good save system. Alright, so what are you getting with this collection? Well, you're getting the first Castlevania, which was one of my favorites. You're getting Simon's Quest. This is not a modified ROM or anything like that. This is the original. Unfortunately, that also means that it's the original, so you're going to be having a really hard time playing this game without a walkthrough. So there's no, like, awesome redone version, one that runs better, because these games still have the original slowdown that they experienced when playing on an NES. There's no remastered version or anything like that. They're just old ROMs. Super Castlevania 4... Oh, I'm sorry. Castlevania Dracula's Curse. Hard game. Pretty tough. A lot of people think it's unfair, but I think it's alright. Super Castlevania 4. Great game to get into if you've never played the Castlevania games. It's a lot easier. It's really fun. The Castlevania Adventure, or Castlevania The Adventure. This is a terrible Game Boy game. I don't know why they included this. Belmont's Revenge, the sequel. I hear it's better. Castlevania Bloodlines, or the New Generation, depending on where you are. It's a pretty damn good game. It's from the original Genesis. And then you have Kid Dracula, the English translation. The official English port of this game. It's actually pretty cool. I'll show you that in a bit. Then you have the bonus book. And, you know, it's got some interviews, it's got some box art going on here, you know, you can check it out, ooh, but, unfortunately, there's no manuals in here. There's no digitized original game manuals, which kind of sucks. And what sucks is that those manuals actually have some useful information in them, and they're just not present, so have fun looking up some stuff online. Anyway, there's some obvious omissions here. Let's get into a game. There's some obvious omissions, and, you know, they can't include every game. You know, there's no Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which is a great game. There's no Dracula X even. Like, I would have taken that SNES butchered port over the frickin' Game Boy game. Because that game is actually kind of hard to find now. You can get a ROM online, obviously. And most notably, there's no Symphony of the Night, which deserves its own PC version. I know there have been some fan projects, but nothing's really surfaced from them. The best version of that game is pretty much on the Xbox 360. There's also the PSP version, which also includes the Japanese English translation of Rondo of Blood, as well as a 3D remake of it. It sounds like I'm really shilling the emulators and the ROMs here, but I really am, because they're just a lot better. If you want a nice interface, well, you can just install RetroArch or Launchbox and play all the games that way. If you want basic things like cloud saves or customizable controls, well, you can kind of do them through the emulators. I mean, like, look at this. Like, look at this. This is the options menu. You have to enable this in the game. You can't just do it in the main menu. So, you have controls right here, not rebindable at all, and the buttons are reversed. I mean, look at that great diagram. Whip controls, A and Y button. Yeah, it's reversed. And jump is X, or a square if you're using a PS4 controller. Use item is still the same thing. You have to hit up and attack at the same time, so if I want to pause time here, I gotta hit up and A. You know, because why not? What's weird is that some of the controls are changed in other games. So, you know, Castlevania 4, you had, you know, your jump and your whip, but you use the L button to throw your item. But the jump and attack buttons are actually the original US config. So they actually work fine. It's just this game and 2 and 3 are switched, which is really bizarre. Bloodlines is still fine too. You got your attack button as the B button, or C as it was back in the day. Or sorry, the item throw button, and then, you know, A is jump, X is whip or stab or whatever, you know, depending on your character. But those games work just fine. Why can't this one have rebindable buttons? Why does it have to be different? Why does it have to be weird? It's just so lazy. And, like, it's like 20 bucks. Like, really? 20 freaking dollars? I would barely even play 10 for the privilege of playing these on Steam without cloud saves, or even leaderboards, or any achievements, or anything interesting. I I mean, the Mega Man collections had more effort put into them than this. It just seems like a lazy cash-in attempt from Konami trying to cash in on nostalgia, or maybe the new Castlevania hype that's been going on. You know, you have the anime from Netflix, you have Bloodstained, which is looking really, really good right now. And it's not going to be much more expensive than this game, this collection. Alright, let's go back. Again, no multiple saves, no controls, yada yada yada. You got it. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Now this game's actually pretty cool. Let's just start it up here. Oh, you're right. It's this guy I can at least kind of understand because it was like this. It was originally a Japanese game, so the controls are a little bit different by default. And you know, not everything has to revolve around America and the control schemes that have been done here, but that's what an options menu is for. Very simple solution. The game also runs in windowed mode, and it's got a permanent borderless windowed mode on by default, so it makes alt-tabbing a little bit of a pain. You know, I do prefer borderless above all else, but it just still sucks. But let's talk about this game for a second, because this game is actually really cool. And then we'll wrap it up here. But basically, you got this nice side-scroller, this really catchy tune. Basically, it's a remix of the Castlevania music, but more of like a cartoony, friendly adventure kind of theme going for it. I really like this game, and it's not too crazy difficult either, although it is still kind of hard. I believe that's Vampire Killer in the background too, which is really funny. But yeah, this is Castlevania, the Anniversary Collection. Not a great anniversary. I mean, I remember the Mario Anniversary, the 25th one. That one was pretty bad. That was on Wii, but at least you got like an art book and a soundtrack out of that. That was a physical release for $30. And then you had the Kirby one, which had a lot of cool extra stuff. It even had the anime on the DVD, which was nice. This is just, it's, you know, it's a digital release, so they gotta, like, spruce it up a bit. You know, you get that little book, but that's it. So, my suggestion, if you want to play the original trilogy, play it on RetroArch. If you want to play it right, you can get the ROM version of Castlevania 2 from Almighty Guru, which I'll have a link in the description below, and it'll be a lot easier to play that game. If you want to play the games that aren't on this collection, like Symphony of the Night or Rondo of Blood, emulate the PSP version. Why not? Just get the Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. It's a great game. If you have a Vita or PSP, go buy it. It's really nice. It's well worth playing mobile. Tons of extras, too. Unlike this. But I will say, Kid Dracula it's tugging my heartstrings. This is actually really pleasant. Alright, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out. It's so nice.